Good afternoon. It's good to have you here again. Today, there are a couple of things I want to show you. We are presently at critical levels, which you must take a very good caution if you are buying. These are not levels that you want to look for your buys. These are not levels you want to look for your buys. These are levels you want to look for a sell. And this week, apart from Monday or Tuesday, maybe early Tuesday, I want you, if anything, don't buy in this market. If anything, we just need a news to change the course of this trade. We need a news to break this thing to the downside to change the course of this trade. That might just be late Tuesday or early Wednesday that we might see that. And again, we might see it anytime soon. It might not even be up to that, but I think there is going to be something coming this week that we are entering today. Maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday, we might just have that momentum candle that change the tides for at least 50% of the correction, which is a bigger correction that we've been waiting for, which I don't want you to miss. But having said that, there are a couple of things I want to show you. Now, let me bring my drawing again. So look at the critical level that I've talked about, that this level and this level, these two areas where I have in red, the fenestrated red and the other bold red. Yeah, these are levels I said if we should have anything breaching this level or a daily candle, be it a daily candle or 4-hour candle should close above here, then we might be in for a change of trend. It is not clear yet. Like if you see in this region here, you can see weeks here, week and week and week, like rejections. We might just have funny weeks that goes up and a clear rejection. So anything is possible, but this is a critical level. They might just want to take people out. Those who are selling with appropriate, without appropriate stop loss or with tight stop loss, they might just take your money and get you off and send, the trade to the downside between Monday and Wednesday before we now have that bigger correction. So these are things that, price has not been doing something. You see, let me show you something. In the last 3 weeks, this is 1, 2, 3 weeks. Even from here, which of course is an ending diagonal of wave 3, and this has not played. There's a whole lot of game here. Within 1 week, the only momentum to the upside that they gain, the only thing they gain to the upside is just like 23 pips or less than 24 pips to the upside, between this week and the upper week. So between last week and the upper week and the ending week that just ended, they have only managed to gain like less than 40 pips. Less than 40 pips. From here to here, yeah, it's about 38 pips. So altogether, for over 2 weeks, the ascent that price has made is less than 65 or 68, less than 70 pips. Let's just approximate. So for over 2 weeks now, the ascent is just less than 70 pips. And that tells you a whole lot of consolidation around this area. And the price is losing momentum. Even it's been losing momentum here. All these ones are gimmicks to, get people out of the trade. But the catch for us, like I told you, knowing that the ascent has been poor. Of course, it looks also like a nest, but of course, not until that we have a candle sitting on top of this zone that we know that, okay, yes, that has confirmed that it is a trend of a trend to the upside, but momentarily we might be seeing a correction before we break above. But if nothing happens and if this fails and we begin to have movement to the downside, we should have at the back of our mind it's a possibility of wave 2 to the downside, which is a bigger correction to the downside, or that we are going to now finish up with 5 in the black that we've been expecting. You know, that we'll be expecting for quite a while. It might just be. It might just be. So we've been expecting that if it's going to be 3 and a 4, but this is big, quite big, but then this is the zone that should not go beyond. Let me drag it there. It shouldn't go beyond here. Once it's past it, then you know. But at the same time, if you are going to pick a sell here, you have to be very careful picking the sell. But I will now give us tips of picking that sells. This is the week you can look for that sell opportunity. This is the week. Let me take this drawing off and let's go inside on a daily. So on a daily, this is what I want you to see on a daily. You can see a correction to the downside and this correction to the upside. Now, in terms of correction, if it's going to be a 3-way correction, it's like A and a B and a C. Let me show you something first. Let me bring the drawing again. Now, somebody may have thought that as we saw here with price, after we've won, we had A, B, and a C, which is wave 2. Okay, the A, B, and the C, the A on the daily, the B and the C, this could actually be 1 and 2. And this is a 3-1 and a 3-2 before we have a 3-3 and a 3-4 or anything, anyhow you want to look at it. But let's just apply ourselves for A to the downside, B to the upside, and a B. Now, if you look at it, does it look like that? Because when you take this and you look at the correction, it's actually at just about 76, which is good for wave 2 to the downside. Now, in terms of a corrective format, this A to B, what is it? What in kind of extension? What is it exactly? So if you look at it in terms of extension, that is 123. That is 123. So to the upside, that is 123. And when you see a 123 extension to the upside, then you should be thinking, could it be extended flat or a running flat? In an extended flat, you will expect that C will break the low of A. But in a running flat, it won't get to it. So what do we have? What do we have in terms of that move? So it falls at 76. So which is like, in terms of when you take this one as a 3-1 and a 3-2, it looks like a correction of a 3-1 and a 3-2. But in terms of reading flat, this is the way we want to plot it. So from A itself, no, from, okay, we want to go to, yes, from the upper limit of that to the lower limit of A, which is the red area here, then to the upper limit of A, which is above here. when you look at that, in terms of what you expect, there's a trick here. So that is like 0.618, and that looks like a running flat. So in that regard, if you think in terms of A, B, and a C, and you are looking for a C, in terms of a running flat, you must know how to read it. This is how you read it, because this is A and a B and a C. So if you want to read it, it would actually look like that. From the top of your B, which has gone extension of what? 123, again back to the level of A, the low of A, then you now go back to the beginning of B on the blue. Again, I'm just going over it. The look at it is about 61.8. And that looks like what? A running flat. So a running flat in the middle, which is an A, B, C, a running flat that goes up. But if, again, you are looking at, okay, isolatedly, that this is wave 1 and wave 2 for the first wave, and this is the first part of what? Of wave 3, which is 3-1 and a 3-2, before seeing a 3-3, it will still be like 76 point whatever to this wave of 3-1 and 3-2. So anyhow you look at it, but let's apply ourselves by A, B, C, which is what we have learned and we have taught ourselves. Now, with what I just explained here, then again, if you want to now begin to think, okay, in terms of extension of where 3 should be, because we said 3, finished up here. In terms of that, between 1 and 2, from here, that's 1, to the low of 2 at red, you will see that the extension is more than 2. Is more than 2. Over 1.618 is at this level when you think of this 1 and the 2. Now, but if you now take it to the limit here, which is above here, where you add this, now it's 1.618. It's really at the top of this 3 here, which is still correct for 3. But again, if you want to now think of, okay, 3-1 and a 3-2, so that means I'm going to push this one to the red, which is below here. I hope you are getting what I'm doing. So it still looks like, okay, either way is correct because it's more than 1.618, and the last one is about almost 2.618, which is where it has the nest stalled. So taking your measurement anyhow as 1 to 2 to this 3, or like 3-1 to 3-2 to this 3, it will still give you what we expect, that yes, this is actually what do you call it that? This is actually an impulse, okay? Actually an impulse. Now, for a single wave to the upside, we've had a 5-wave run to the upside. Now we expect a 3-wave pullback to the downside, which must at least 250 to make it a wave 2 to the wave 2 to the downside. That is where we are expecting ourselves to now begin to look for food. Okay. Now, in case you are seeing that, okay, this correction, we say 4 may have ended here. With 4, because this is 3. 3 has ended like its own ending diagonal here, and that this is 4. In case you think, oh, as 4 ended, really, could it be that this is A and a B, and we're going to see a C? What do? One thing you know, that if this is A of 4 and if this is B, there is no wave of B that should exceed 123, or let's say 161.8. So once it's more than 161.8, you know that it's a new wave. then you won't be having a problem. So now, taking from 3 to 4, that we say 3 to 4, is this wave B on the daily? Let's look at it. Now, when you come here from 3 to 4, 4 is at this golden yellow. Now, see, this is 123. Price didn't stall there. And the 161.8 is at just before this broken line. So the price had breached 161.8. So that clearly tells you that this wave to the upside is not a corrective format in relations to this at all. So 4 indeed has ended. So that is what we are saying. 4 indeed has ended. So this is the last wave of 5, and which is a mess now. Now, how do we want to now deal with this? Like, if you remember the last video I did, I told us that in our attempt to deal with the 4th wave, we are going to deal with this 4th wave as if where do we expect the limit of this 4th wave normally to the downside? And I said, we must know where 2 is supposed to be. Where 2 is supposed to be normally is here. I'm just going over what I did the last time. So saying that this is 1 and this is 2, where the red is. So we are looking at where 2 is supposed to be in relation to that red. And we said, if you want to pick it really from 2 to 3, so we expect it at least to get to this point, this area, which is 38.2. That is where we expected that, okay, in case we're going to have a deeper correction, so which we didn't have. So at this edge, so we're supposed to have that 4 could still have gotten there. But now we know that 4 has ended because this one had broken above. So 4 indeed has ended. Now, then we now said that the limit where this thing could play to the upside from here is this. From this 3, let's say, to the edge of 4, where we're supposed to see 4, which is 38. I think it will be much better for you to work with that, which is 38. So in that regard, if we are working with that, so it's safer to think that this wave that didn't do a deeper pullback could still make 5, elongate to give us something within this zone, because it has pierced 123 of this extension of the old movement to the upside. It has pierced it in terms of what we expect for 3 to 4. Now, it may just get to 161.8. So we might still have this thing, this might still be A and a B and a C and one more leg to the upside that will just touch 1.1000. So I think that is an area you must be looking for a sell, 1.1000. That will be a good area to look for a sell. It might not come to this. It might not come to this. I'm just saying that. It might not come to this because once, it could go a bit below. At 40 is still 4, but conventionally 38 is good. At 50, which we will now push everything to the upside here, because if you go to the 50, at 50, then it's going to push you more to the upside, which is at the edge of this red here. But I think that is a no-go area. Price may not do that. If in case it does that, price may not probably break 1.0800 before we see what we want. Okay. So now I'm just teaching us something, because what we have to look at, in this trade. So we know that this one will give us this, that okay, at this level, this is where to look for your sell, which is at 1.100000. So if you want to look for your sell. But again, if you want to really be more active with this thing, because price actually needs not to go up. Price actually needs not to grow or go up here before they turn into the downside. Price may break to the downside any moment from now. But in case price is going to break to the downside, let's see the possibility of what we might actually see, look for if price should pierce an area. Now, I'm talking too much, right? Okay, let's look at this. Let's consider that from here to the downside here is wave A, and from here to the upside here is wave B. Let's consider that. So if we are going to consider that is wave 1 and a B situation, so what kind of extension is from here to this place? Let's look at it. In terms of extension, okay, for you to see it very well, let me change the time frame. So we still keep those lines there. Okay. Now let's go in there now. Okay. This is what I've been saying. This is from here to here is A, and this one is to B. So you can see very well now. Okay. So in terms of a correction, what do we see here? From this level, the beginning of the first move to the downside, which is the correction A, in case we want to look at that, and this is B. Now, these had not broken 161.8. Because it didn't break 161.8, we can still say, technically, this is like a B, okay? Now, something would change so that you will know that something has changed. If this one is a B, then a C, because it has gone beyond 123, it could give us an extended flat. It could give us an extended flat. Can it give us a running flat? Maybe. But I would not expect a running flat, because most of the time, running flat will just not exceed 123 before it gives us a running flat. But because it had gone past 123, yeah, of course, I'm not God. We can still expect a running flat or extended flat. So in that kind of a situation, what do we expect? That this coming leg, if it does not break above immediately, to say that he has finished the correction here, if it does not break above immediately, that means it might get down, then go up again to break structure. So what do we expect? Now, in terms of that correction, so that's the beginning of that correction to the downside of C now, to the end of A, to the origin of A. So to that place, we should not expect it to be more than 123. That is what we should expect normally. So at 123, it's really here, which is at this point, is at that point. So let me give it, yeah, let me make it that, okay. So that's the last bus stop that price must not go beyond down here. So once you see that there's a breach here, then that will be an early sign for you that, see, we are already doing the big correction. So price making nonsense of 1.067 tells you that, the correction really has started. Okay. Now, but again, like I said, that is 123. What if it is 100 and not 123? So it can still give us an 100. This to this place. So this on 100 will be this. 100 extension will be this. Okay, that will be 100 extension. Let me just use the broken line. And a running flat format will now look like this. In a running flat format, what do I use now? In a running flat format, it will be at 61.8, which is air. A running flat format will be in that place. So we have that two broken lines now. So the first one is at 100, 61.8, if it's going to be a running flat, at 100, but no more than 123. So that's the last place. Once we have a bridge here, and that movement is actually, we are looking for a space of like 100 pips. And once that is taken to the downside, then we might have correction to the upside and we are going much more lower. So that is what we are saying. But now pay attention to what is happening here. So in case we still say that this one is A, this is clearly a correction, the first move, and this is the second move. And now we are seeing going to the downside. So the extent to which this thing will go between Monday and Tuesday will tell us if we are still going to break above or not. So if we don't break below this critical level before we see a change of direction again, that means we're going to break above, and then you can now begin to look for that area of a set that I gave you, which is this area up here, which is this area of 1.00 stuff. So that will be an area to look for. So we should not be in a rush. Let's see the way this is correcting to the downside between Monday and Tuesday. And once you have price trying to go up again, then that will be the most likely the last time you can catch a top. So that might be most likely the last time you might catch a top before price begins to plummet to the downside. So in that case, you may say that this is a 1 and a 2. You might be seeing a 3. And in fact, it won't be correct that way. So then let us go there. So I think that's all I want to say for today. So price may not go beyond between here and here at the end of the day if we're going to break the top again. But certainly we can break the top again, or that the price may fall once we begin to breach. Once we breach this and we breach this, then you must be ready, and we breach this to the downside. Then you look for a correction to the upside to enter a sell in case you are waiting here. All right.